Hi everyone, and welcome to the Lenovo Microsoft Teams Room webinar. My name is Linus Kreutz, and I'm the BDM for Lenovo here at Maverick. And today we're going to listen to Lars Berlau going through the Teams Room news and Martin Sieg from Lenovo. So I'll hand it off to the experts. This meeting will be recorded. So welcome everyone. And with those words, I hand the room over to Lars.
Thank you so much, Linus. The expert wasn't able to come here today, so Martin and I will do it instead. No, thanks a lot for joining. We got a lot of people joining from the Nordics and also some other countries who found out that we do this webinars together with Lenovo. So first of all, I'm Lars Berlau, working with Teams Rooms in the Nordics, and today we're going to focus on Lenovo. So Martin Sieg from Lenovo will join us later on and talk about some of the new products and also how you can actually do management of your devices, so you don't need to run out in each and every room if you need to do an update. But first of all, we encourage you to ask questions in the Q&A chat, and then we got Thomas and Linus in the background to hopefully answer some of the questions or forward the questions to Martin and I after the call or during the webinar as well. So in this first session, we have promised to talk a little bit about how people is actually using the Teams rooms in the meeting rooms. So first of all, there's a lot of talk about why should we choose a Teams room compared to a bring your own device. And from my opinion, it's basically around doing it as easy as possible for the users. So they don't need to think about bringing the laptop, connecting the cables, making sure that the camera is the right or the speakers are the right, are the muted, unmuted and stuff like that. So basically we want to make it as easy as possible to walk into a meeting room, hit the join button, and then the meeting starts. So that will be the same experience no matter how big the meeting room is. So you don't need to think about the right cameras, the mics, that are all compared and fitted for the right room. So as you see here, there's a console on the table, and then you could add the specific camera that you want to have in your meeting room. So basically just start the meeting either from a Skype or a Teams meeting, but you can actually also do direct guest join. So from your Teams rooms, you can actually join Zoom, Cisco WebEx, and soon there will be some other added as well. So what we see right now when we talk to our customers is that they're really happy about that function of bringing one touch to join solution, but there tends to be some issues when not all people are in the meeting room or in the office because somebody forgets to unbook the meetings. And then there's some equipment standing in the meeting room that they can't really use because normally we would have asked people to forward the invite to the meeting room, but you can't forward the invite when there's already a meeting in the calendar. So another way that we can do that is to use the proximity join. So that is available both from your phone and from your PC. So before you have this actually joining the meeting, you would have a pre-join screen, and that would look like this on the PC. So instead of using your computer audio, you can then use a room audio, and then there will be a Bluetooth beaconing searching for nearby devices, and which will then mean that you can take your own meeting and push to the Teams rooms, and then the Teams will actually join the call. Your PC will still be able to join the call, and then you can use the PC as a wireless presentation in Mobile Companion. So this is a really great thing that you can actually do right now. This is released and have been for quite a while. There is though a few limitations. So for instance, if you are in another organization, you will not be able to join their Teams rooms through proximity. It needs to be in your own tenant or a trusted tenant at least. Another thing is to include the people that sits remotely. We have had an option quite a while to attach an additional camera to the Teams rooms for a content camera. So that is also available. Another thing that if you don't want to use the content camera, then you can use a touchscreen and connect that to your Teams rooms, and then you would have the full experience of the embedded whiteboard inside Microsoft Teams. And then, of course, if you want to have the full collaboration experience, then you could use the Teams rooms for what it's best for, audio and video. And then you can roll in the Surface Hub and use that in coordinated meeting. So actually joining both with the Teams rooms and the Surface Hub on 2 different accounts. But then you can use the Teams rooms for audio and video and the Surface Hub for collaborating on the whiteboard, sharing content and signing into your Office 365 account. I just made a short note on top of the Surface Hub. The Surface Hub will be available now inside of Teams Admin Center. So it tends to be that Microsoft is pushing more and more inside of Teams Admin Center. And that is really good for us because then we have one place to manage all our devices from the Teams perspective. But if you look at the perspective of the peripherals, then Martin will have the solution for you to look at the ThinkSmart Manager as well. But the Teams rooms is not getting much better than the poorest quality. So you probably all have experienced it. So if you join a Teams meeting in an open space environment, just from your laptop or with a really lousy headset, which is not Teams certified, then everybody would have a poor experience because there's a lot of background noise. So please bear that in mind. So when we talk to our customers, we want to be the trusted advisors and talk about how we can make a great experience from using the Teams rooms, but definitely also from the personal perspective. So if you're sitting in an open space environment, then a certified headset, a camera would be even better, give a better experience. And if you have that personal space or personal office, then you can use the view as you see on the screen, and I have mine here on the back. So that gives you a great experience on the audio and the video, and you would have, I have my agenda there all day, so I can see my calendar and my files, which make it really easy for me to work with. And basically, it's not more expensive than buying a headset and a camera. So I think it's great value for the money. So then I promised to talk a little bit about what is coming up in Teams. Some of them is already announced and some is on the way. First of all, if you have a dual screen up with your ThinkSmart Teams rooms, then you can, first of all, they are supported for both single screen and dual screen. And if you install it with a dual screen solution, then before this was announced, there was only one screen used for video. So if you are not presenting anything, then that screen would be black all the time. But now we actually have split gallery. So that is a default setting right now. So if you're not presenting, then the gallery view would be split across both screens. Then, of course, depending on how many you are in the call, that will build up the intelligence from Microsoft. So this is not a setting that you can do yourself, but this is just basically something, the intelligence from Microsoft. Another thing which is really, really interesting is that now all the Teams rooms are actually supported with multiple cameras. It has been a long requested feature for those who do like town hall meetings or education setup, flipped classrooms and stuff like that, where you want to have either the presenter in the focus or the audience in the focus. So right now you can basically just add an additional camera to the Teams rooms, and then you would have a small drop down arrow just on your right hand side of the camera. And then you've got a little small preview on the console. And then you can change the camera setting or change the camera to the other camera as well. So it's really nice. It doesn't support to have both video feeds at the same time. So be aware of that. That's another solution where you can actually install 2 Teams rooms in coordinated meeting instead. but this is a great option to actually be able to flip or switch between the two cameras. So being able to do that. Another place where we actually used it was that we had a meeting experience with a really large, where we needed a really large field of view, but they also wanted to have another camera really pointing at one person sitting really far away. So we had two cameras pointing in the same direction, a small camera with a really large field of view, and then a PTZ camera just on top of that, which was able then to capture that person sitting really long in a long distance. So that was another use case of that ability to switch the cameras. And then we have Front Row. So Front Row is really hyped by Microsoft right now. They're saying more or less that this would be the meeting experience that we are looking at moving forward. What they're really talking about is having people in the right eye level. So basically moving the people down in the bottom of the screen, having the camera pointing or mounted in the bottom of the screen. So when you look at the camera or the persons, then you would have that eye level experience with the persons. So no matter how far away you're sitting in the same room, they would still try to get the eye level or the eyes and the persons in the same level. But Front Row is just it's just a layout. So if you have a meeting room with a camera that points at several people, that will be in one frame in the bottom, and then there will be another frame from a person sitting from home. So if you want to have that full experience that Microsoft is talking so much about right now, you would need to look at intelligent cameras. And that is actually the camera itself that does the intelligence of framing each individual persons in the room, being able to put them in individual video feeds. And then in the future, it would look like this. So this is basically still, again, the Front Row layout, but the intelligence from the camera would then be able to place each individual in their own space. Right now, this is not released yet, but it's been shown already in a lot of slides and videos by Microsoft. But right now, we would still see, we will still see it like this. So one meeting room, each person individually. Moving forward, we will have the intelligent cameras. And then in the future-wise, we would be able to have this option of have each individual persons down in the bottom of the screen. Another thing with the Front Row is that then we would have chat on your right-hand side and raise hands in your left-hand side. And those components are also being possible in the future to change. So it will not only be chat and raise hands. We would have tasks. We would be able to have the agenda of the meeting, but those are part of the loop components that are rolling out. We don't have a specific date for that, but I'll guess that will be rolling out within the next couple of months. So this was a quick run through of how to use your Teams Rooms devices right now. What is going to happen in the future when you look at Front Row and intelligent cameras. And now I think it's time for Martin to say something about the Lenovo devices more specifically.
And thank you very much, Lars. I think I'm on now. So let me share my screen right here. So thank you everyone for joining this call. I will quickly run through all our products. I will go through our ThinkSmart Manager, and then I will try to do a live demo of our ThinkSmart Cam and the microphone pickup range of the ThinkSmart Bar. So just for you to have an experience on how does it actually work and what does it look like when the camera is zooming in and out, how does it work in an environment. So working from home, this will be, of course, from my living room. So be aware that it's probably not a typical meeting room, but yeah, I think it works quite well anyway.
So, sorry, Martin, it's Thomas here from the background. I can't see your presentation.
Okay, let me quickly check here.
There we go. Thank you.
Great. So moving forward to the lineup as we see it today. So we have several products for the full solution in, I would say, most of the meeting room spaces. So on top we have our ThinkSmart Hub series. So 3 years ago, when we entered this business, or basically almost 4 years ago, we launched the ThinkSmart Hub 500. Then we replaced this one last year with the ThinkSmart Hub, and we removed the 500 number and just kept the Hub as the brand. This is a all-in-one device, meaning that we have everything built into the device except from the camera. It is compatible with both Teams and Zoom solutions. Then we launched almost a year ago, 7-8 months, our accessories, so our ThinkSmart Bar and our ThinkSmart Cam. And I will go more deeply into each product just in a moment. We also have our ThinkSmart Core solution, which, just like the Hub, is a Teams Rooms based on Windows solution, but just in another form factor. So where the Hub is an all-in-one device, then we have the Core solution where it's separate units. So you can do this. I would say all our competitors use this kind of form factor. So we of course want to provide the customers who prefer this solution as well. As Lars mentioned, we have a product called the ThinkSmart View. This one will continue for a while in the market. It's an 8-inch touch display with built-in camera, built-in microphones, and so on. But we will also later this year see a replacement for this device. And unfortunately, I cannot show anything of that yet, but it will be a 27-inch monitor with the software built in and a big touch display. So especially for those 1-2 person huddle rooms, then this device could solve all the needs for hardware inside that room. So you don't need to buy a separate monitor, you don't need to buy separate cameras or anything. You will just have this 27-inch display with built-in great speakers, great cameras, and really good microphones as well. But on another call or another webinar moving forward, this product will be launched for sure. Then, of course, we have our ThinkSmart Manager, where all the meeting room devices can be managed, not only after installation, but you can also use this during the installation to make everything more simple. But again, I will also do some more showing on that part. Finally, we have our Google Meet solution. So this is for all the Google Meet customers that we see in the Nordics. We have launched this, I think, 1.5 years ago, and we have developed this product together with Google, and it is extremely exclusive, really nice look and feel. Both the camera, the bars, the microphones, everything in this device does an excellent job. It comes in a white and a black edition, but I will not dig more into the Google because this kit is basically, you need to be a Google certified partners, and we know there's not that many partners in the Nordics that have that certification. But if you are, just so you are aware that we have the solution, so if you are starting to look into the Google environment, please just reach out to us, and then we will give you a much more detailed presentation about the Google Meet kits. So moving forward with the hardware products itself. So let's start with the ThinkSmart Hub. So this is the design of the device. If you remember our old Hub 500, we had all cables going directly into the device. Here we have added a single cable system. So you will have this 2-meter cable, and then you can do all your connections underneath the table. So you will have a much more clean desk instead. The form factor itself has been decreased versus the Hub 500, so it doesn't take up a lot of table space. It is still a 10-inch touch display we have on board, and then this is you can manage everything from here, and it is possible to rotate the screen so it can be managed from each side of the table. Also, we have a really powerful speaker here. So one important thing is that we have seen a lot of installation using this device, and then partners are installing a sound bar or some additional microphones, even in smaller meeting rooms. But the built-in microphone and speakers in this device is actually certified from Microsoft to cover up to large meeting rooms, meaning meeting rooms that is 8 meters long. So of course, this depends on where you place the device. So if it is placed in the center of the table, then it have 4.5 meters coverage, which means 9 meters in total. We know that most customers probably use this at the end of the table, and that will of course reduce the length of the coverage to those 4.5 meters, and that match up with those 8 to 10 person meeting rooms. But still, this is, again, just add the camera to this device, and then you will have a super efficient and extremely easy to install solution. In the bottom, we have a small LED lens, and so the same on the top, just so you can see if you are in a meeting or if you're muted or if you are not muted. It's possible to add a headset to the device. Never seen anyone doing this in a meeting room, but you can do it. And then we have the 4 microphones on top. So again, even if you rotate the screen, those will always point in the same direction. So it doesn't matter if the screen turns left or right, then you will still have the same coverage in the meeting room. The HDMI ingest cable is a separate cable going out of the device, because users who have this on the table probably also want the HDMI ingest cable to be at the table. So these 2 cables are the only one going into the device when you have it on the table. We also achieved a ultra-quiet certification, meaning that even that if you are pushing the device to its max limit, and typically when you are doing that is when you are running a dual screen setup, you are constantly sharing quite heavy files or videos. Then we saw on the previous model that it needs to start up the fans to cool it down. On this one, you will basically never hear any fans, at least we have never experienced so. So this ultra-quiet certification is also a really positive thing. And then again, the design, it is 25% smaller than the Hub 500 due to a change of the compute inside, but with even more computer power than we saw on the previous model. As any Teams room, we have the IR proximity sensor, and this is again when people are using the bring your own device meeting room solutions, then there's a huge benefit in having the Teams room system, because entering the meeting room, the IR sensor will detect movement, it will turn on the device, it will send out a signal on the HDMI cable to the display on the wall, and that one will wake up as well. So the user experience is just, go into the room, everything will power up, and you just need to push the join button. So I think, again, this solution is really not that expensive, and the benefits of having this versus a bring your own device solution is just both, for the users much better, but also for the IT who is managing all the systems, then everything can be managed remotely. All updates for like firmware updates for cam and bar and so on, that will happen automatically. So a lot of benefits by choosing a room system versus the bring your own device solution. So the rooms that we see this in and the combinations is when you have the small focus rooms with 4 to 6 persons, it's simple, use the hub, add the cam. And again, use the same for the medium room experience. If you go into those large meeting rooms, well, depending again a bit on where you have the hub placed, but then you could add the ThinkSmart bar on top of it to get this more loud sound and more wide sound experience in the meeting room, and also to gain an even better microphone pickup range. If you go into larger rooms than 14, then of course it always depends on the acoustics in the meeting rooms. But then we have the Bar XL, where we have the mic pods as an option as well. So the mic pods used together with the bar doesn't, what to say, if you use the mic pods, you will disable the built-in microphones and use those mic pods instead. So it's not that you can get an even larger, we don't have a larger certification for the product, but due to the different kinds of acoustic in a meeting rooms, then it might be a better option to have the mic pods placed on the table instead of underneath the screen, because you have those, could be like glass walls or concrete walls that gives a bad acoustic in the room. So by choosing the XL bar, you get both options. If the pickup range is better without the mic pods, well, use it like that. Or if you get a better pickup range using the mic pods, well, just connect them and then you can use those. So just a bit more flexible with the XL bar. So again, just all in one device. And again, this device can basically cover, I would say, 70–80% of all meeting room solutions. As Lars mentioned, the Teams rooms support both the WebEx and the Zoom calls. And this is, of course, doesn't matter if it's the core or if it's the hub, because it's the same system. The touch and feel for any customer will be exactly the same. So even if you're using one device in one kind of room and you choose the core solution for other rooms, then everything will, of course, be the same. So moving to the ThinkSmart core system. So we have the compute, which is a small, slim one. You will be able to see it here placed on the wall. Usually, we believe that customers will place the compute behind the screen on the wall or underneath the table, depending on how you're doing the installations. But I would say behind the screen is by far the most seen solution. We have upgraded the PC solution a bit on the ThinkSmart core. So we added a Intel Iris graphic card to the core compute, as we call it. And this gives us the possibility to do the rendering of content when we share it into the Teams environment for a more smooth screen sharing. So a typically example would be if you are sharing a YouTube video, then to avoid this kind of lagging experience that could happen, then this Intel Iris graphic card will help you not experience that. So, and basically that's the big difference on the compute part on the two devices. On this picture, you see the ThinkSmart Core full room kit. So we have two different bundles. You can have the touch display and the compute. That's the base kit. And then you can have the full room kit with the ThinkSmart Bar XL, including the two table mic pods and the ThinkSmart Cam. And of course, buying the full room kit will give you an additional saving versus buying each component individual. Also, now when Microsoft have launched the 2Cam option, then it makes a lot of sense choosing the full room kit, because even if customers have a larger meeting room where our ThinkSmart Cam is not having enough zoom, because this has 4 times digital zoom, and we know some cameras have 10 times optical zoom, then you can still buy the full room kit, use the optical zoom camera for the long distance, and use the ThinkSmart Cam as the second cam. So makes a lot of sense by choosing the full room kit when you are equipping those meeting rooms. The compute itself is like, this is also the same on the hub, of course, that all cables will be safely hidden away, so users are not able to drag out any cables. Those small light gray rubber hooks you see here will keep the cables inside the box. You will not be able to drag out the cable, even if you are pulling them quite hard. And then the lid will close and it will be screwed together. So again, users should not be able to take out any kind of cabling from the system. One difference here between our system and our competitors' solutions is that we have the HDMI ingest placed inside the compute. What we see others is having the HDMI ingest placed in the touch display on the table. But the reason why we have it on the compute is, again, we don't want this lagging experience when you are sharing content from your PC. So you get the most efficient content sharing by adding the HDMI directly into the compute and not through cable connections and so on. And again, we also have the Iris graphic card aboard. So this is quite a superior experience versus any other Teams Room solutions that you see in the market. Of course, supporting the dual display, 3 USB connections and so on. So and this one also have the USB-C connection if you have USB-C products. And the touch display itself is a 10-inch touch display. And again, just like the hub, we have the IR sensors placed on the screen, meaning that the device will wake up itself. As you see the small foot here, it means that the device can be quite upright, but you can also just flip it over and then it will lay more flat down to the table. It will be delivered with a 10-meter USB-C cable, which both deliver the power and the connection. So the only cable going from the compute to the table is this one, this USB-C cable, and no additional power supply needed for the touch display. This also makes it super clean desk policy comfortable. Another thing regarding the HDMI ingest, since the HDMI ingest is placed in the compute, if you want to have the HDMI cable placed on the table, then you will of course need to bring that from the compute and onto the table. But if you are looking into using ClickShare or any of the other wireless sharing hardware solutions, then it's a great thing that we have the HDMI in the compute instead, because then you can hide the ClickShare box behind the display as well. So you won't see anything on the table and you don't need to power supply that and do additional cabling. So everything is super easy and super simple and done with as less amount of cable as possible. So the two solutions here, basically all our products are with our Premier support and we have 3 years warranty as standard. We have the list price examples down here. Again, list price is whatever list price is. The way that you handle the Lenovo pricing is that you request a bid for each customer specific deal. And then you can do that both directly through Tech Data. You can do it through the Lenovo Partner Hub, or you can always reach out to me as well if you need to have any kind of assistance in doing this. So another thing where the ThinkSmart Core differentiate a bit versus the Hub is that we have included some soft bundles inside the Core system, meaning that you get 1 year of premium license included for our ThinkSmart Manager, and I will show you what the differences is. And then you will also get our deploy and maintenance. So deploy, that means basically that if you are having any issues on customer side when you are trying to deploy these devices, you will have a hotline that you can call. And these guys are, they are super qualified to help you, both setting up the right licenses in the Teams environment to if there's firewall issues at customer side, then they can help you know which ports to open up in the firewall, how to do so, and all these kind of things. The maintenance is basically, we have the premium support who will help on the hardware part and on the Lenovo software part of it. But when it comes into the Microsoft environment, then they are not the one doing any changes in the Microsoft. But with the maintenance here, we will support everything also on the Microsoft, the Windows part. Also on the maintenance, we have a 2-hour SLA. Our regular support is, I would say, next business day, but of course the support is 24/7, 365. So you will always be able to reach out to a person who can assist you. And before then the case is fixed or a technician is booked in, then we have the next business day support.
There's a question coming up.
Yep.
So are the button mics wired or wireless?
Yeah, so the microphones, they are wired, and they are using a 3.5 millimeter cable. So it is possible to add even longer cables than we are providing. What you will get in the box is a 6-meter cable going from the bar into the first mic pod, and then an additional 6-meter cable going from mic pod number 1 to mic pod number 2. I mean, basically we like the wireless mic pods, but there's always this thing about charging them, and then if they need some kind of power to recharge, then you would have to do electrical wiring to the mic pod instead. So I know, in some occasions, of course, it can be an advance, but in some occasions, having those 2 6-meter cables to do the connection could be even better. So of course, this is differentiating from room to room. So moving into the ThinkSmart Cam. So this is a super meeting room cam. It's not much bigger than a webcam, but it has a lot of features built in. And this is, I think I'll just skip you to this one. So we have this AI chip inside the camera, meaning that we also have auto zoom and auto framing. We can turn on and off speaker tracking. We have people counting built in, so we can give information from the meeting room into the software on how many persons is using this and so on. We have what is called whiteboard recognition. This is not the same as the content cam that you can use just to be placed and only filming into the whiteboard. But this camera, if you turn on the whiteboard recognition, it will see the whiteboard in the meeting room as a person. So it will make sure that this whiteboard is always present in the camera angle. So if a person goes up to the whiteboard, of course, then you will have the person and the whiteboard broadcasted into the meeting. We also have something called picture-in-picture. I have not met any other cameras who actually can do this, but what the picture-in-picture does is that in the top right corner, might be the left, I'm not sure, but in the top corner at least, you will see a small square where you will be able to see the full meeting room all the time. So even if the camera is zooming into a person with speaker tracking that is standing in the far end, then there will still be this full meeting room view. So the people joining the meeting from elsewhere, they will still be able to see all the participants in that meeting room. And then both on our ThinkSmart Cam and our ThinkSmart Bar, you don't need additional software or additional workarounds to update the firmware. The firmware will be updated through Windows updates, and any of our MTR systems are each night, as default, they are requesting Microsoft if there's any updates available, either for the system itself or for the connected peripherals. So the cam and the bar in this occasion. So again, super easy, less management as possible. And on the right picture here, you see how it looks, where you can disable, turn on and off all the different functionalities. This can be done either connecting the cam and the bar to a Windows PC, then we have a software for that, or of course it can also be done remotely through the ThinkSmart Manager, where any IT can manage this. And the manager is a cloud-based solution, so it can be done remotely in all locations. Regarding the camera, I mean, the size of it is of course quite small, but it still comes with a lot of different kind of mounting possibilities. So it has a built-in small clips, so you can mount it on top of the screen. It also comes with a wall bracket inside the box when you get it. It will come with VESA mounts as well, so you can mount the camera directly to the back of your screen. Again, if you have glass walls or if you have a solution where you will transport the screen from one meeting room to another, then it's much easier to mount the camera directly to the screen and make sure that it stays there instead of start wall mounting it. And finally, it has a magnetic field in the bottom of the cam, which makes it suitable to fit on the same magnetic field that we have in the center of the ThinkSmart Bar. So we know there's a lot of these all-in-one products where the camera and the bar is integrated, But one of the small issues that you can experience here is that either the bar will be too low because it's mounted underneath the display. If you have a large screen, 85-inch, then typically that camera will be on table height, and that is too low to get a nice view. So then here with this solution, it's more flexible, so you can easily decide if you want the camera to be on bar, on wall, or on top of the display. The ThinkSmart bar, as I mentioned, it comes in these two different solutions with where it's a standalone bar and the XL bar. As I remember it, it's less than $100 US. That is the price difference between these two solutions. So I would say that if you are moving up into meeting rooms more than 10 persons, I would recommend to use the XL bar just for you to have those additional 2 mic pods if the acoustics in that meeting room is horrible. Then at least you have the flexibility, and with that quite small price difference, I think that could be worth it, because you are not able to buy the microphones on a later time and add them to the standard bar. So it is only if you're working together with the XL version. So in the bar we have 180 degrees coverage, both on the microphones and on the speaker systems. We have DSP, noise and echo cancellation. So the bar is designed, I think when we move to this one here, it is designed to work on voices. So this is not a movie theater bar with a huge bass and a very deep volume, but it is based on voices to give the most clear and crisp sound when you are hearing other talking. So it is quite powerful, up to 797 decibels. So again, this is also one of the things that we have this large meeting room certification, and we have that for both the cam and the bar, that it can fit up to those 8.5 meters meeting rooms. So again, acoustics, that's a tough one. But this is the certification, and both the cam and the bar have been tested at Microsoft and received this certification. We see a lot of our competitor solution, they only managed to get the certification of small or medium-sized meeting rooms. So this one comes just like the camera with all the mounting kits built inside the device. So we will have the wall brackets, we will have VESA mounting as well. And there's small rubber feet to it if you want to place it on a shelf or something like that. Both the cam and the bar will be shipped with a 5-meter USB cable. This is USB-A to USB-C. And then we have a 10-meter USB cable available at Tech Data if you need longer distances. Again, typically where we see this is not when you are using the core system, because you would typically have the compute placed behind the TV. So the 5-meter cable is more than enough. But if you are using the hub and you want to add the camera, then sometimes 5 meters is not enough. And then you would add the 10-meter cable. This 10-meter cable is not like an extremely expensive cable. So I think it's like around $30-35 US for the 10-meter cable. So again, super affordable, and no need to fear that you need to buy quite expensive add-ons for this, because again, all brackets, all cables, everything is included in the package. So just a quick overview of the lineup as it looks today. On the left side, we have the ThinkSmart View that is good for personal spaces or those one-person meeting rooms. The feedback that we got from those phone booth meeting rooms is that they would like a bigger display. So that is what is coming up later this year. We have the ThinkSmart Hub working perfectly in huddle, medium, and up to large rooms. Then we are the one providing our compute part to a lot of our colleagues out there. So we see that both actually Poly, Logitech and Creston is using our compute to drive their Windows-based MTR systems. We have the ThinkSmart accessories, which again goes into any kind of meeting room sizes. We have the full room kit and the space kit. So using the full room kit, of course, then you have the complete solution. And the Google kit is also certified by Google to cover both huddle, medium and large rooms. The Google kit comes in 3 different sizes, so 3 different packages, including so the large package is including 2 bars and 2 microphones and an XL cam. The small one is including 1 bar, and the medium is including the bar and the mic pods. So, there's some scaling depending on the room size on the Google kit. So really quick around the manager before I start showing it. The ThinkSmart Manager is this cloud-based solution where you can control all the Lenovo the Teams Rooms devices and the accessories connected to those. So when you are doing the installation, today typically you are doing all installation manually in the meeting room, setting up the account, configuring each device. So this is a job for the technician guy, but with the manager, all this can be done through the manager and remotely, which gives a huge benefit of the whole installation process. Also, you can manage the system afterwards. If anything goes wrong, you will be alerted, and a lot of those things you will be able to fix remote. But of course, if someone broke a cable, at least you will be alerted, but you will probably have to send someone to that specific meeting room. It comes in 2 different versions: basic, which is always free of charge, included in each solution, and then there's a premium upgrade. And remember, the premium upgrade was included in the core solution when you buy that one for the first year. The main differences between the basic and the premium, so I will just focus on what you get on the premium, is that you can do this bulk restart. When you're using the mobile app, because we have such one as well, then if there's a meeting room facing an issue, then you will receive a message directly on the mobile app. If you are using, for an example, the Logitech Meet or the Rallycam inside the meeting room connected to the core or to the hub, then you can firmware update those as well, and you will also be able to get errors from the Logitech, because we have at this point, we have the integration to Logitech Sync, which is their software, so you don't need to go into 2 different software systems. You can just use the ThinkSmart Manager. Also, we have something called Intel vPro. I will show that, but this is a really, really cool feature, giving you the full control of the device. And then you can get a lot of historical meeting room analytics through when you have the premium license. So this is where the camera is providing you with information from the people counting, and then you are able to see how many persons have used the meeting room, how many meetings have been in there, and so on. So at this point, this is the main differences, but of course we are bringing new features in all the time for the manager, and I don't have a clear view, which one will be basic, which one will be premium, but of course premium will get even more moving forward.
And Martin, how do you add the MTRs into the ThinkSmart Manager, and how do you activate the premium license in ThinkSmart Manager?
Yeah, so there's 2 ways of adding the devices into the manager. When you create a manager account on just Google ThinkSmart Manager or get a link from us, then you can add your already installed devices by entering the serial number of the device and the user account or the password for the account, the Windows account set up on that device. Then it will automatically be added into the manager. If you are doing your first installations of the device, then there will be a screen on the second screen or the third screen when you turn it on or you power it up, will be a QR code, and then you can take the ThinkSmart Manager mobile app and scan that QR code, and then the unit will automatically be visible in the ThinkSmart Manager. When you want to activate the premium license, then you should actually reach out to us right now, because we need to do it manually. There will be an automated process afterwards, but what we basically just need is the account information and then the serial number of the devices, and then we will make those licenses available. So it's like a couple of hour process from our side, and then it's up and running. So quite easy, but of course we are looking forward for it to be fully automated. So when you just enter the serial number, then the license will automatically go in there. Just my final slide before the live demo, because I can see that time is slipping now. So we also have all these professional service. Remember, the maintain and the deploy was already included in the core. This can be added for the hub as well. You can also get some training if you want, the customers need to be trained in how to use the Teams Room devices and you don't want to perform this. Then again, this is part numbers that you buy from Tech Data. You put on top your margin, and then it's a person from Lenovo taking care of it. So again, we have these kind of services just to support you. If you prefer to do everything yourself, well, feel free to do so. So our last slide is here. Just to remember, Premium support is not just like a customer support. It's real technical guys sitting there in the Copenhagen office covering the Nordics. We have it across most countries in the world. And if a customer gets a case, I have an issue, blah, 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 then it will always be that same person taking care of you. So it's a personal contact. It's not just some kind of customer support. This is really something that gives a lot of value for the customers, and they're not stopping helping you until everything works. And of course, the final solution is to send out a guy and fix it on site. So with that said, quickly moving ahead to the ThinkSmart Manager cloud solution. So this is the dashboard. I will run through this a bit fast, but if you want to know a more detailed, please just reach out and we will book a separate session where we will go into each thing. So the dashboard here is basically, if you go down here, here is where if you have the premium license, you will be able to see all this people counting, how many persons have used it. You can see what is the average minutes the meeting room have been in a meeting and how many meetings have been held per day. And up here you can select your different devices and you can do like, I want to check 10 devices at a time or just one. If you go into the device manager, I think this is where most people will spend their time. You go into devices. So here we can add new device. Simply, if you have like 100, then you can upload it as a CSV file, or you can add them individually. If you do that, you just choose, if it's the core kit, choose that one. Then you select the machine type, you enter the serial number and the Windows password, and then you just submit, and the device will appear right here. So going into one of the devices, as you can see here, I have the premium license attached to all our demo devices. This one is placed in Smørum, which is definitely not where I am. So this is done remotely. And what we see here is we have an information sheet where I can see the IP address, what is the name, where is it placed, and so on. If I go into this configuration part, this is where you can, again, remotely set up what is the room name, where is it placed, which account do we want to use on this device, what is the password for it, and is it a dual display, single display, and so on. You can also change network settings in here. Of course, it needs to be connected to the network to get access. So, but if you have, cabled network issues, someone cut the cable, you can go in here and then you can remotely change it to access the Wi-Fi network. There's also some other settings we can do. Here we have the software update. As mentioned, the device is doing Windows Update each night between Monday to Friday. If you don't want automatically update, you can activate manually. If there's an update pushed from Microsoft that is not working 100%, we have added this rollback software button, so you can get back to the previous version. And this is the Intel vPro. So all these things over here is part of the free, the basic version, but the Intel vPro requires the premium. So you get a lot of detailed information on the system, but you can here enter the desktop mode. And if I connect to that unit placed at my colleague's house, I can here see exactly the device. I can take this up to full screen, and just like a time viewer client, this I can manage his system placed at his house now. I can go into settings, I can go into the Windows environment, I can change everything, I can restart the unit. I can basically, I can do exactly the same as if I was in that meeting room. Even if I need to enter the command prompt, I can connect to that one. And then I have the full control of his command prompt. I can even run, a different script and everything, directly on the device without no need to go into that room. So this is super powerful and gives you a fantastic management of your system. So another thing I quickly want to show here is the email notification. So I can create different kind of notifications. For an example, if the network is disconnected, you see here I have different kind of notifications, but I just simply create one for offline. I want it to be shipped to sent to me if something doesn't work, and then I just create notification. Then I will receive an email anytime there's some units that doesn't have any network, and I can fix this before the meeting starts or before people are complaining. I can do this in advance. So there's of course different stuff in here. You can assign more users. You can hear this is where the licenses will be added when we do that. And then you see there's a lot of licenses. You simply just choose apply license, and then your list of devices would appear here. Click the device and push apply. Then it will become a premium version. But reach out to get a more detailed Smart Manager presentation. So now I will stop sharing my screen, and hopefully you will see me in full screen. I don't know if that's hopefully, but at least it's that's the idea. So I will shift into my ThinkSmart Cam just to make you see a little bit on how that is working. And what you see right now is that, just give me 1 second here. Great. So I hope that doesn't interrupt my my microphone too much. But what we see here is that that's why live demo is a bit complicated. So you see the camera, and I am placed around 30-40 centimeters away from it. At least my finger can touch the lens here. And now I will I just need to change the settings of my microphones here, because I can see that the microphones is not picking up from the bar.
Power on. USB enabled.
So that should change something here. Great. So now I will start to move around a little bit, and now I'm using the microphones from the ThinkSmart Bar, and I'm using the ThinkSmart Cam. And as you see, the cam right now is activated to do auto framing. So it is following me around. When I move around in here, it will, on a smooth way, immediately it will detect where I'm moving, but it will not do it like a real fast movement. It will follow me in a nice way around, so people don't get seasick following you. And it will of course continue zooming when I'm moving further away. I am approximately 5 meters away from the camera right now, and I will try of course to go up to those 8 meters where the camera is certified. So this is approximately 8 meters distance from the camera and the ThinkSmart Bar. I cannot move much further ahead due to the limitations here, but I will try to move in the other direction just to test how well the microphone picks up my voice when I'm even moving further away than 8 meters. So I will be counting here, and I'm now 9, 10, 11, and 12 meters away. So basically what I'm doing now is standing, talking with the same level of my voice behind the wall, 12 meters away from the built-in microphones on that ThinkSmart Bar. So hopefully you can hear me quite well. I know this is not a typically meeting room scenario, but I mean, this shows a little bit on how powerful those microphones actually is. And as soon as I jump into the picture again, the camera quickly finds me, zooms into me, and again, all the time framing me to give the best picture of the distance and of me. Of course, if there were several persons in this meeting room, they would all be inside the camera angles as well, and it wouldn't do the exact tracking just on me. So this was actually my presentation and the live demo. Again, please reach out to me if you want to have a more detailed deep diving into both the products and the ThinkSmart Manager. So thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Martin. That was really cool. I mean, it's always a bit scary to do live demonstrations, but it's also really a great way of seeing how the product is working. So I think everybody can acknowledge that it was quite impressive that it can pick up the mics or you speak like walking 10, 12 meters away. So I think that is a really good indication of great microphones, and this was only in the bar itself. No additional microphones, no microphones attached or anything. It was basically just the Rally bar and the Rally cam. So this was the experience that you would get.
But not really the Rally, more the Lenovo cam and
the
Lenovo bar.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Cool.
So
I think we have got some questions during the call. We have, to my understanding, answered all of them either in speak or in written. There have been some few questions about the microphones. Could you add additional extension cables? Could you add a base to the Rally bar? To the ThinkSmart bar. So I think we got all answered. If you got any questions either for me, the Maverick team, or to Martin, please reach out to us afterwards, and then we can help you with a deep dive discussion in the ThinkSmart Manager or anything else. I think that was really cool to see the demonstration of actually being able to connect to another system, being there in live in front of the system, handling that system. I think that will be a great improvement to a lot of technical people that should manage the meeting rooms. So I think that was really nice. So definitely, yeah, for my case, that premium license would be just for that usage would be perfect.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I mean, we see the customers who are using this already, you know, they're trying to get, we have the 3 months free trial license that you can always request. Then we will get one for you or your customer so they can test this. And usually when they have tested it, they for sure want to keep this. And again, all the licensing part numbers that you purchase from Tech Data and sell to the customer with the uplift that you decide. So nothing that Lenovo handles, everything is something that you can resell. Cool.
I think we are even a few minutes over now, so thanks a lot for all of those that joined the webinar. We are happy to get back to you if you have any questions. I see there's a new question. Do Maverick have this as a demo unit for the customers to see? Yes, we have that in all our 4 Nordic countries, and I know Lenovo even have a great ability to do demonstrations. So either we at Maverick can do demonstrations remotely, or we can do it on site in our experience centers. And we know Lenovo as well can be helpful with devices for demonstrations. So please reach out to us, and then we will make sure that you can see either a virtual or real life demonstration.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for all of you joining.
Thanks. Take care and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.